Hello guys, namaste. Welcome back to my channel. Myself Monica, and today the topic that we will be discussing and we will be learning okay will be the appendix. Okay, so I forgot to mention appendix. Just before going into the main topic, I just wanted you all to go through some MCQs, and after you when you go through MCQs we will be going through other things, okay, through other a lot of things other, and we will be studying about them. Okay, and let me tell you that these MCQs are the maximum MCQs that I could collect. Okay, if there are many more MCQs apart from this, then please do write it in the comment section below. Everyone will get to study about it. And now without further ado, let's get started. So the first question that is here is, during appendectomy the surgeon approaches the base of appendix through, and here are the options. Okay, you can look it, you can take a screenshot and try your best to answer them. After that we will discuss everything about the appendix. Appendix is really an important topic. If you are from Nepal, then obviously in a PBQ, that is problem based questions, you will have one question surely from the appendix or appendicitis, so you have to learn about these things. Next question is, the commonest anatomical position of appendix is. Okay, so this is the next question. Now we will go towards the next. So question number 3 here is about the appendix is characterized by which of the following. Which of the following is not included on the position of appendix? Okay, so these are the questions. So you have to go to the next question, and that is the truest statement about the appendix is. So it was asked in PGI June 6, which is truest. From here you have to know which one is the true statement. So please look at all the questions carefully and please try your best to answer by yourself. We will be checking the answer after the completion of this topic. Okay, after the completion of topic appendix. So, vermiform appendix is a narrow worm-like diverticulum which arises from the posterior medial wall of the cecum about 2 centimeter below the ileocecal junction. So you know that this is the large intestine. Okay, this is, I have drawn it myself, so it looks a little bit funny, but then please copy it off. Okay, so this is the large intestine, and here in this point you can see this is the our cecum. Okay, this is our cecum, this pink part. Okay, and in this part of the cecum from the posterior side, okay, so this is the anterior side, the front one, the back one is the posterior side. So it arises from the posterior medial. Medial means towards the body, towards the medial line. Okay, so that means towards the body. So in this side it will be, not in this, okay, not in this, but it will be in this side, 2 centimeter below the ileocecal junction. Ileocecal means ileum, terminal part of the ileum. So wait, okay, so here the terminal part of the ileum and the cecum meets. Okay, so that's why it is known as the ileocecal junction. So 2 centimeter below the ileocecal junction. So this is the posterior part of the cecum. So here what you can see is that, so in this cecum there is the ileocecal opening and valve. Okay, this the terminal ileum is ending here, and then this is the valve, and here just 2 centimeter below of it in the posterior and the medial side. Okay, not in the lateral side but in the medial side, you can see this opening which is known as the opening of vermiform appendix. Okay, so 2 centimeter below the terminal ileum on the medial side, that is the posterior medial side. Okay, there is this opening which is known as the opening of the vermiform appendix. So this is all about it. So here is this picture I got from Google. So here you can see how, where for me you can see the pelvic. Okay, this is here, this is our pelvic, no? So here the vermiform appendix is like having its position like this in the pelvic part, so it is also known as the pelvic position of vermiform appendix. So you can see here pelvic position of vermiform appendix. So from here in the posterior medial side, posteriorly vermiform appendix is appearing. This is the small intestine, this is the large intestine. So let's little bit go in about the description and learn about the description. Appendix varies in length from 2 to 20 centimeter, that is average is of 9 centimeter. You should know the length, okay, length of every kinds of organs and every kinds of things in the body is important. So appendix varies in length from 22 to 20 centimeter. The average width is about 5 millimeter. The diameter of the lumen varies with the age. It is more in children than adult and often obliterated after the mid-adult life. The length also varies with age. It is longer in children than in the adults. So it is a rudimentary organ. Do not forget this. It is a rudimentary organ. So as we progress, as we get young, elder, this starts to get obliterated. It starts to get obliterated, and it is longer in children than in the adults. So usually the children's, we can see these children's and teenagers especially suffering from appendicitis and pregnant women than other elderly people. Okay, so now parts. The appendix presents the three parts, that is the base, body and the tip. Okay, the base is attached to the posterior medial wall of the cecum about 2 centimeter below the ileocecal junction. At all the three tenia of cecum converge to the base of the appendix. This anatomical fact serves as a guide to the surgeon to search for the appendix during the appendectomy. So what happens is whenever the surgeon is searching for an appendix, so to find the base of the appendix, it becomes easier with the help of the tenia, a tenia present in the cecum. So all the three tenia of cecum, they converge. Okay, they come and meet at a point in the base of the appendix. So whenever you see all the three cecum that is present in the rectum, if you don't know this, then you can watch my lecture. Okay, so all the three tenia of the cecum converge to the base of the appendix, and that point is known as the base. Okay, base of the appendix. So this, in this way, surgeon will get help to find the appendix during appendicectomy. The body is narrow tubular part between the base and tip. So body is the narrow tubular part. So if this is the base, so let me show you. So if this is the base, okay, from here, if this is the base, then the narrow tubular part, okay, so there is a narrow tubular part between the base and the tail, that is known as there is a narrow tubular part between the base and the tail, that is known as the sorry that is known as the body. Okay, and the tip is the less vascular distal blind end. It may be directed in the various directions. So it is a distal blind end. Okay, it is a distal blind end. It is least vascular. Okay, it is the least vascular part of the appendix. I'll make sure that, okay, I can assure you that if you go through these lectures, you don't need to study appendix from anywhere. You just can rely on this. So here, this is also important to know in where to locate. Okay, where is actually our appendix is located. You might be asked by your viva teacher to show it externally and in that way or this way. So appendix usually lies in the right iliac fossa. Okay, in the right iliac fossa, the base of the appendix is fixed by the remaining part. Okay, but the remaining part may occupy any of the positions. So base of the appendix lies in the right iliac fossa. Okay, the base of the appendix lies in the right iliac fossa, but the remaining part may occupy any position. It might go to the hepatic part, it might go to this part or this part or this part, it might go to the any part. So this is the right lateral plane, this is the left lateral plane, and this is the transtubular plane. So here, base of the appendix lies 2 centimeter below the point of intersection of transtubular and the right lateral plane. So it lies 2 centimeter below. So everything is 2 centimeter below. Even the opening of appendix is 2 centimeter below the ileocecal junction, and here also the base of appendix lies 2 centimeter below the point of intersection of the transtubular plane and the right lateral plane. So here, so actually I had drawn it myself. So to show this circle, I just little bit make this circle little bit on the lateral medial side, but it's not like this. It's here in the right iliac fossa. Okay, so it's in this part, right iliac fossa. So base of the appendix is constant, it will never shift. So it is in the right iliac fossa. So you have to draw this diagram and don't show in this side. Okay, here's this mistake. You have to, let me zoom little bit more. Okay, you have to show it in this side, this part of the side, and this here in the this plane, transtubular plane, in this part, in the lateral part, you have seen McBurney's point. So there is the importance of McBurney's point also, but I will talk about it later on, and also I will talk about what is McBurney's point. But this is also something that is important while doing the surgery of appendix, because this helps to find out the location of the appendix. So for now, the thing you should remember is, when we have to ask to show the location of the appendix, you can draw this kind of diagram, and here you can show the base of the appendix, that is 2 centimeter below. Okay, 2 centimeter below the point of intersection of transtubular and the right lateral plane. So now moving on, so here is the position of Warmerdam appendix, actual position, and positions here I have shown the position according to needle of the clock. I think you can get this diagram in almost all your books. Okay, so when the position, okay, so this is an appendix, and if this appendix is pointing like this straight upward, that is known as retrocolic 12 o'clock position, which is 65.25% of the cases. Means that now you might have understood which is the commonest position of the appendix. So here it is 65.25%. I think you can get the answer of one of your question. The commonest position of the appendix is retrocolic position, that is 12 o'clock position. So it is actually behind. Okay, it is posteriorly. This position you can see posteriorly. This and paracolic position you will see it posteriorly, and this position you can see anteriorly. Okay, so these are behind the cecum. So it's just this position, they are behind the cecum, and this position you can see anterior. This here you can see the tip, but in these two positions you cannot actually see the lots of tip. So this is all, and if you find it difficult to memorize all the position and the features, then to help you a little bit, I have made mnemonic in my previous video, where I have made it really very easy to understand and learn about it. So you can go and check that video. I'll put that video link in my description box, or in the you can click on the eye icon and you can see there. So let's start. So paracolic position, okay, this is the first position, that is 11 o'clock position. The appendix passes upward on the right side of the ascending colon in the 2% of the cases. So this is the 11. I think you can see a watch and understand what does 11 o'clock position means. Okay, you can see on your watch what is 11 o'clock position. Okay, so it passes upwards on the right side of the ascending colon. Retrocecal, retrocolic, that is 12 o'clock position. The appendix passes upward behind the cecum and the ascending colon. It is the commonest position of the appendix, 65.28%. It is the commonest position of the appendix. The next one is the splenic, 2 o'clock position. The appendix passes, okay, upward and medially in front of the pre-ileal or behind the post-ileal, the terminal part of the ileum. Okay, 2 o'clock position, you know that where is 2 o'clock position, and you also know that how the terminal part of ileum arrives on the cecum. So the tip of the appendix here points towards the spleen. The pre-ileal position is the most dangerous because inflammation from the appendix spreads into the general peritoneal cavity. The pre-ileal position occurs in 1% of the cases and post-ileal on the 0.4% of the cases. So pre-ileal means in front of the ileum, post-ileal means behind. Okay, appendix passes upward medially in front means pre-ileal, and behind means post-ileal, the terminal part of the ileum. So this 2 o'clock position, usually the tip of the appendix points towards the spleen, and this is the dangerous because inflammation from the appendix spreads into the general peritoneal cavity. So there is a chance of the spread of the appendix, inflammation of the appendix in the general peritoneal cavity. Promontoric, that is 3 o'clock position, the appendix passes horizontally towards the sacral promontory. The position is very rare, that is less than 1%. The next thing is the pelvic floor clock position. The appendix descends downwards and medially and crosses the pelvic brim to enter into the true pelvis. So as I shown earlier in the picture where I said it is a pelvic position, 4 o'clock position, where the appendix was towards the pelvis. In the female, it may be related to the right uterine tube. It is the second commonest position. That is, the pelvic is the second commonest position. That's why when I searched this image of the appendix on the Google image, then I found this pelvic position because it is one of the commonest position. If you don't remember it, let me show it again. Where is that position? I will see here. This is the pelvic position, 4 o'clock position. So this is the second commonest position. Okay, this is the second commonest position. The first one was retrocecal position. Okay, 12 o'clock position, it was 65% of the time we could see that position. You have to remember it, and for the mnemonic you can please go see in the eye icon or my description part. I will definitely mention the link to that video. And mid-inguinal or subcecal, that is 6 o'clock position, the appendix passes vertically downward below the cecum subcecal and points towards the inguinal ligament. It occurs in the 2% of the cases. Okay, this is all about the positions. Now we need to go through some notes. Okay, the first one says that subhepatic appendix. So this is important. Okay, it is an abnormal position of the appendix in which, okay, it lies underneath the liver in the right hypochondrium. It is a development anomaly which occurs due to the failure in the descent of cecal pod. The cecum and the appendix develop from the cecal pod that arise from the post-arterial segment of the midgut loop near the apex. So what happens is that the cecal pod usually lies in the upper part, okay, near the liver side, okay, in the upper part near the liver side. So what happens if that does not descend, okay, descends down, then what happens, the cecum and appendix develop from the cecal pod that arises from the post arterial segment of the midgut loop. So what happens is the midgut loop is in the upper part, okay, upper part. So this is the upper part, this is the middle part, and this is the lower part. So in the upper part, there is a cecal pod. If that cecal pod will not descend down, and from down, if the cecum and the appendix won't appear, then if it appears from the upper part only, okay, in the upper part only, what happens is that appendix will get very near to the liver, okay, it will point very near to the liver because our 65% of the position is the retrocecal, that means upward, okay. So it will, if it not descend down, and if it remains upward, then it will get very close to the liver. So here the appendix is underneath the liver in the right hypochondrium, it will remain in the right hypochondrium, and that will create the difficulty because, as I said, the inflammation of the subhepatic appendix causes pain and tenderness in the right hypochondrium and may mimic the acute cholecystitis inflammation of the gallbladder. And also, it will be very difficult to know whether it is cholecystitis and or appendicitis, and you might go with the wrong operation, and also it can lead to other kind of complications. So if the cecal means where cecum, and from cecum appendix arises. So if cecal pod fails to descend, okay, from the from the midgut loop in the upper position, and it fails to go down, then when the appendix arises, it gets near to the liver, and it goes into the right hypochondria beneath the liver. And when it goes there, so the inflammation of the subhepatic appendix may cause pain and tenderness in the right hypochondrium, and may mimic the acute cholecystitis, inflammation of the gallbladder, and it will have a lot of complications. So this is one note. So what is the next thing that you have to remember is the subhepatic appendix. Subhepatic appendix.